Let's change your DualSense controller to a Pro controller right after this. Today we're going to be opening up the PS5 Dualsense Controller and making upgrades to the stock controller. First things first, we got to take off this bottom piece. Popping out the tabs on both sides and popping it right off will get you started, exposing two of the screws that you need to access to be able to open up and modify things on your controller. Alright, let's move on to this step. So we got our trusty screwdriver. This is where they're both located. So what do? Open them up. Let's loosen this up and move on to the next step. So once you've got this one out and the one on the opposite side, we're ready to move on. The next part involves you taking the controller, putting it upside down, and popping off R1, L1 on your controller. Once those are off, it will reveal two more screws that need to be untightened and taken out to be able to continue with this process. So let's do that now. Now the next thing is, of course, there's two tabs right here, so be careful, don't just try to pry it open. Those tabs will break. You'll have to pop them out and then you'll be able to take off the shell off of this controller. What we like to do is just loosen it up first before we get started. So once that's all done, flip it upside down and let's just pop this right off. So we got everything loosened up, ready to go. Tabs are off, so nothing will break. Carefully lift it right off, just like we have. Oh, looks like it's stuck. Just be careful with that. And there we go, done. Perfect. Next thing up is the battery. The battery needs to be removed and that will reveal another screw right under it that's holding everything together. All right, so let's pop this screw off. And then we'll take off the battery, disconnect the ribbon cables, flip open the board, and make the changes as necessary. All right, so that's off. Battery's out. We can move on to the next step. All right, there is a little cable that's stuck inside there. You'll have to take that out. And then you'll be able to take off the battery compartment plastic holder, whatever you want to call it. And then once all the cables are off, it's basically just a matter of slowly prying the board over. And there you go, revealing everything that we need for the next step. So these simply just pop right off. And we're gonna replace them with our magnetic ones. So we'll take off the actual stick and get the base fitted right on in the same spot that the other one was on. Perfect. And we do the same thing with the other side. Pop it right off. And there is a right way and a wrong way to connect these. You'll notice when you look at the bottom that there is a side that's a little bit longer than the other side and it has to match up with the actual piece on the board. Perfect. We got everything in place. It's just a matter of reconnecting, plugging in all the cables that we took off before, screwing in this battery plastic holder, and just working our way backwards through all the steps that we followed earlier to open it up in the first place. All right, perfect. Everything's set in place. Let's connect the battery. All right, a little push. Nice and, oh, I think we had it the wrong way. Perfect. All right, so flip it over. Get it in, no push, it's in, connected, in place. Time to get the back shell of the controller back on. And it will click in place once you have it right. And now it's time to replace all the screws. Now, generally, before you put in all the screws, a good idea would be to just reconnect it back to your console to make sure everything is working. Nothing's having problems or issues. You know, just in case a ribbon wasn't connected properly or something got moved. This would be a good time to check it rather than screwing it all together, because once you screw it on and something doesn't work, you'll have to reopen everything, and it's a very lengthy process. Now, we've done this so many times that we're going to skip the testing phase and move on to the next step. Alright, perfect. We'll get these screws in. Once those are in, you can pop the R1 and L1 right into the controller, and you're good to go. And there you go. Another thing we did was, rather than putting the black plastic piece on the bottom of the controller, we changed it to the silver one that we had lying around, so it matches up with the analog stick bases. That's it for this one. Hope you all enjoy. Take care. See you all in the next one.